thanks to eBay, the world is now our shopping mall. It's global shopping. However, just as you have to watch your bag when you're browsing around the shops, our money and even our identities are soft targets for a new breed of online criminals. So, how do you protect yourself? Here to fill us in, the man responsible for educating eBay users about online fraud, Alastair MacGibbon. Welcome, Batman.
G'day,
What
Zoe.
is cybercrime?
Well, cybercrime, in my experience, both as a police officer and now at eBay, is not really too different to offline crime. The same types of criminals operate online as offline, and there are some simple things you can do to protect yourself. Protecting your identity is very important, and even things like your password.
Well, let's just think, how many registered members are there on eBay?
There are over 243 million members on eBay.
Wow. So how often does cybercrime happen? Is it rare, or is it, I mean, because that's a lot of people.
Well, on a site like eBay, it's important to recognise that the overwhelming majority of transactions are trouble-free, so most people aren't going to have any problem at all. And there are some things you can do to protect yourself. Importantly, check feedback. That's like a reputation system on eBay.
They have like star rating, don't they? Is that right, Shelley?
I've sold my first thing on eBay a couple of weeks ago, which I was quite excited about. And because I'm constantly seeking praise, I was so excited when my feedback gave like 5 stars and plus, and I just sat at my computer going, oh, I'm a good girl. I'm a great seller. That's fantastic. So it really does work, because I also had to check out when this guy wanted to buy the thing I was selling, if he was a good buyer as well. So it works for buyers and sellers.
Absolutely. So there have been over 5 billion feedback comments left between buyers and sellers. So if you and Zoe were to trade, you would leave comments about each other. So when I'm a buyer on the site and I look at the item description, I click on the feedback and I find out what others have said about you. That way I have an understanding of your reputation. Once you know the person's reputation and you've read the item description, you then make sure you pay safely.
Now tell me about this, because the thing that I was worried about is giving account details or my credit card number. Is that the main trap?
Well, the biggest fear online is actually giving out your credit card or bank details. It's the #1 fear that Australian shoppers have.
So how can you make sure no one gets them?
Well, you make sure that you use a safe payment method online, like eBay. Like PayPal. It's an online payment method designed for the internet. What you do is you put your credit card details or your bank details. They link up with PayPal. As I shop online, only my PayPal identity is known. People don't see my bank details or my credit card.
And they don't see your real name.
No, all you need to know is the email address of the person. It's actually really good for sellers online too, because their identity, of course, needs to be protected, as people do try to steal those online.
Well, you don't want people coming over to pick up the product from your house. That would be a bit of a bummer.
That's sort of tried,
Now, also, there's some dodgy ones you were telling me about. Was it Western Union or...?
Well, you don't ever pay with cash in the mail or use Western Union. The trouble with Western Union is that it's the preferred method of payment by criminals online. The reason is, once you've put the money into the Western Union system, you can't actually get it back. If you pay with something like PayPal, you can be protected up to $1,500 at the moment, and in a month's time it's going to double to $3,000 on eBay.
Oh, that's good.
That happened to me too. My boyfriend bought an editing system. He's an editor. And it was $2,500, and he paid for it on a Friday and didn't hear anything all weekend, and he did not sleep all weekend, which meant I didn't sleep because he was tossing and turning and getting stressed. And then on Monday it was all fine. So I know there's a lot of horror stories, but there's also, you feel a little bit pleased with humanity when it all works out, nicely.
Indeed. In fact, most of the problems that people actually have are about communication between buyers and sellers. If that item didn't arrive, for example, on the Monday, or you hadn't heard from the seller, contact them. Ask them questions throughout the actual transaction. And obviously, if you've got any questions, first thing you should do is ask the seller. If worse comes to worse, there are buyer protection programs that you can call upon.
Now, Alastair, can you tell us, what's this about people stealing your identity?
Well,
there's some ones I'd like to steal. Brad Pitt or someone, no, really.
Well, look, identity theft online is a problem, broadly on the internet, and indeed it's a problem offline. Most identities in Australia are still stolen, people stealing mail from your letterbox, or indeed swiping your credit card at a petrol station. Online, the best way to stay safe, keep your identity protected, is to have a good complex password, uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and don't ever give out your details online to a person.
And don't use your PIN number as your password.
No.
And what happens to people that commit these crimes? Is there a cyber jail? Or
No, there are real jails.
Real
criminals go to real jails. If you're stupid enough to commit a crime on the internet, you're going to get caught.
Oh, right. There you go. Well, we've put some of Alastair's tips for safer online shopping on our website. So if you'd like them, you can go to 9msn.com.au/the catch-up. It's very interesting. One of my friends didn't check the measurements, and she ordered what she thought was a chest of drawers to put her clothes in, but it was actually for a doll. So make sure you check all the measurements. And you were saying ask as many questions as you can.
Ask questions, absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much
Thank
for
you very
coming
much.
on.